All right. Well, welcome to our October 2024 Local Food Town Hall. And we are excited to have all of you with us today. We know that there are a number of other meetings going on today. A lot of our Heartland Regional Food Business Center folks are off at a key partner meeting today. And so a lot of our usual faces may not be on the call today. I'm Rebecca McMahon, the Local Food System Program Administrator for K-State Research and Extension. And again, thanks to all of you for taking time out of your schedules to join us for the town hall today. We are actually trying out a slightly different format today. Not too crazy different, but just a little bit. So we are trying to have fewer lightning presentations. So we only have 2 lightning presentations today that will hopefully allow for a little more time for discussion and announcements and things like that towards the end of the hour. We're also going to do a little bit of a poll kind of midway through the town hall to get your feedback on some of those format changes or what you might like to see in 2025. So for our plan for today, we have 2 lightning presentations. Lisa Ross will be talking about the SNAP education program and has a number of her team members on as well. So talking about that program and how they might partner with your community across the state. And then Aaron Bishop and Donna Martin will be providing an update on our Double Up Food Bucks program here in Kansas, including looking at some of the impacts so far and future funding plans for that program. So then after the lightning presentations, we'll have some Q&A time. I will mention also that feel free to drop your questions into the chat at any point during the lightning presentations so that we can have those on tap or things like that. And then after that, we will have some updates from the Regional Food System Partnership Grant and the Regional Food Business Center grants, and so on. So we know that a lot of you have attended our town halls in the past, but some of you are possibly brand new. We usually have some new folks every time. And so we're going to do a quick poll here to start. So just simple questions. If you have attended a town hall in the past and what part of the state that you live in. Once you've completed the poll, if you could go ahead and put your name, your location, your organization or business affiliation, if any, into the chat, that would be great. That helps all of our partners kind of know who's on the call and connect with each other through the chat a little bit better. Maybe just a few more seconds on the poll. Okay. So it looks like the vast majority of you today, this is something that you've attended more than once, but welcome to all of you that this is your first local food town hall part of the state. So following kind of our usual trend, a lot of folks from Northeast, a number from South Central, and then a few from other parts of the state. And of course, a few of you that are outside of Kansas. So welcome to all of you as well. All right. So I think that I know that Donna with the Double Up Food Bucks program has to leave shortly. So I have my slides in the opposite order, so I'm going to jump through the slides and then back if that works for you guys. Um, I apologize for the zooming around in the slides. So with that, I will turn it over to Erin and Donna to talk a little bit about the Double Up Food Bucks program. And just let me know when you want me to advance the slides and I'll get that taken care of.
All right, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak. And sorry for kind of needing to go first. Unfortunately, about 3 different other events got scheduled just for this time period, so I'm trying to cover as many as I can. Um, so yeah, Erin and I wanted to take an opportunity to just update everyone about the Double Up Food Bucks and where the program is at the moment. So next slide. So for anybody who hasn't heard about Double Up Food Bucks, it is a healthy food incentive program for people who are receiving SNAP or food assistance. And it is our program is based on a national model that is offered in more than half the states across the country. Ours is the only one that I'm aware of that really does span two states. So we try to bring Missouri and Kansas together under the same program. And it has really 3 main goals. We really want to help families bring more healthy food home, and healthy food is, in our case, is specifically defined as fresh fruits and vegetables. We also want to support our local farmers, and we want more of our food dollars to stay in our local communities. Next slide. So just a little bit about our about who helps to make this program work. Mid-America Regional Council is where I'm from, is the lead agency for the program, but we certainly could not do this program without all of our partners. We have we do the lead agency work, but we also work with the grocery stores across the 2 states, and we coordinate communication efforts. And then we have 4 partnering organizations that coordinate with the farmers markets in Kansas and Missouri, and those are K-State Research and Extension, Cultivate KC in Kansas City, West Central Missouri Community Action Agency, and the University of Missouri Extension. And then KU Med Center is our evaluator, and they also work with partners across the state, K-State included. And then, of course, that's just sort of the core folks, and really we have to call attention to our farmers market, farm stand, mobile market, and grocery store partners that really are the true boots on the ground that are working with shoppers across the 2 states to give them more access to healthy fresh fruits and vegetables. Next slide. So this shows the locations across the 2 states. We've really tried over the last couple of years to kick up our numbers, and not just kick up the numbers in one spot, but really look for opportunities to offer the program in communities where there's need all across our area. Erin, you want to say anything about the farmers markets in particular?
Yeah, I would just add that, the farmers markets, we have done a lot of work to kind of expand it past Salina when it came in 2020. Salina was on the program, but it was Junction City. It was kind of as far west as we went, with what you see as those orange pin marks, and I think really grocery stores too. And so this last 4 years, we have really focused on geographically diversifying where the opportunity is, and making sure we're engaging in those communities further out from the Kansas City area or from the eastern part of the state where so many things happen, to really provide opportunity there for those folks as well. And that's been really effective and great in community engagement with that work.
Yeah, I give extra kudos to Erin for bringing the liberal farmers market on board. That was like that's been a long time in the making, and and she really helped them cross the finish line. So now our main goal is just bringing attention that they're actually doing that, so that people in Liberal can go to that wonderful farmers market. So next slide. So this just gives you a snapshot of what the program has done since October 2020, which is when our one of our USDA grants began. So we've distributed over $8 million of Double Up food bucks across the 2 states, and almost $6.5 million of incentives have been redeemed. We have seen through our evaluation that the program does provide some security, some protection against food insecurity for those folks who use the program. We have seen that they are reporting that they're buying more fresh fruits and vegetables. They report better physical and mental health as they've used the program. And then we also see benefits for the locations that are offering the program. They're seeing an increased number of new customers, increased diversity in customers, and more returning customers. And grocery stores in particular like the program because it really highlights the local produce that they are able to offer on the program. Next slide. So just a brief note about where the program stands on funding. So our 2 USDA grants are both coming to an end, and we did apply for another USDA grant this year, which unfortunately we were not awarded. We did hear back from the USDA that it was a highly ranked proposal, but there just simply wasn't enough funding to go around to all the different proposals that they received. There were 47% of the proposals that were funded this year, which is a lot lower than it has been. We were able to get the state of Missouri to dedicate $2 million of their budget to support the program. And unfortunately, that money also needs to be spent by June 30th of 2025. So that's a huge challenge for us, but we're up to the task. We actually have received no cost extension for one of our grants that we have, so that will help us extend into 2025. And we will be using some of those funds specifically in Kansas. And then we are also engaging in conversations with really whoever is willing to have a conversation with us about trying to get state funding on both sides of the state line to help the program move forward after, in the next few years. So that's kind of where we're at. Erin, you want to join? You have any other comments or thoughts you want to share too?
I would just say that I emailed the farmers markets in Kansas that I work with in this program the other day. And I have been at a conference, so and it started on Sunday, so I don't know what day of the week it is right now. To let them know that we will plan on moving forward in 2025. We didn't have that confirmation up until recently for them. So you may have heard conversations on the program in Kansas that the markets may be sunsetting the program. The token color, the tokens that customers have right now do expire tomorrow, but we will be implementing new tokens and operating the program for 2025 in the same capacity that we've offered it in the past. So if you've heard those conversations, or you've had customers or market managers or farmers mention that throughout the state, they did get information that we didn't know if it would continue, and now the information should be trickling down that it will operate. When that starts up in 2025, we are still working on the details of that.
Okay, next slide. Yeah, So yeah, so essentially, at the farmers markets, yes, it does, will end October 31st, which is tomorrow. Grocery stores will continue offering the program throughout the rest of this year. And I don't foresee that there will be any lag on that. And I think we've covered everything else on this slide. Next slide. And there's our contact information. So feel free to contact either Erin or myself. We're happy to answer any questions that you have.
All right. So again, feel free to drop questions in the chat. If anyone has a burning question, I know Donna has to jump off. So feel free to, drop that in the chat right away, or unmute and ask. Otherwise, Erin will be on for the rest of the call to field any questions. So, okay. So go ahead, Erin. Or
I was just gonna say thank you, Donna.
So thank you. Thank you.
yes. Okay, so I am going to zoom all my slides back here. And we will turn it over to Lisa Ross with K-State Research and Extension SNAP Education. Welcome, Lisa.
Thanks, Rebecca. Thanks for having me today. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Kansas SNAP Ed. I'm the coordinator of that program across the state. When I start, we're going to kind of talk about SNAP. So go to the next slide, please. So a lot of times SNAP and SNAP Ed get confused. So I wanted to kind of define what is SNAP and what is SNAP Ed. So SNAP is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which provides benefits to eligible persons to purchase food. So you may know it as food assistance. Back in the day, it was food stamps, but this is actually the benefit piece. And SNAP really helps to fight hunger and improve nutrition among low-income households. And SNAP in Kansas, it is administered by the Kansas Department for Children and Families. And we know that families who participate in SNAP for 6 months, that is associated with a significant decrease in food insecurity and higher nutritional quality of their foods due to a larger food budget and improved health outcomes for children, and 25% decrease in healthcare costs for low-income adults that are recipients. And on average, households stay on SNAP for about 17 months. So then what is SNAP Ed? SNAP Ed is the nutrition education piece of SNAP. And the goal of SNAP education is to improve the likelihood that persons eligible for SNAP will make healthy food choices within a limited budget and choose physically active lifestyles that are consistent with the dietary guidelines for Americans. And K-State Research and Extension, we are the implementers of SNAP Ed, and we provide research-based nutrition education to youth, adults, older adults, and we are in we're in over half of the counties across Kansas. But both of these programs are funded by the Farm Bill through the nutrition title. And that nutrition title is the largest of the Farm Bill titles, and it also includes other food assistance programs that you might be familiar with. So the food distribution program on Indian reservations, the emergency food assistance program, commodity supplemental food program, senior farmer market nutrition program, and the fresh fruit and vegetable program. Next slide. So what do we do in SNAP Ed? We help strengthen individual knowledge by delivering research-based, hands-on, group-based direct nutrition education. And SNAP-Ed also strives to reach the SNAP-Ed eligible audience at more than one level. So we support healthy choices where people live, learn, work, shop, and play. And then we also collaborate with coalitions and organizations to help identify and build on a community's strengths, resources, and potential to make meaningful change. Next slide. All right. So we do assist individuals and community, and the way we do that is Kansas SNAP-Ed is really built on partnerships. And KSRE SNAP-Ed staff collaborate with community groups to make healthier food choices and physical activity opportunities more accessible and desirable at that community level. And then in Kansas, 14% of children live in households that are below the poverty level. So SNAP-Ed promotes access to wholesome and nutritious foods, contributing to healthier children and enhancing their success at school. 54% of SNAP recipients in Kansas have at least one working household member. And they are using food assistance, those SNAP benefits, to help make ends meet. So SNAP-Ed helps participants make healthier food choices within a limited budget, teaching basic menu planning and food budgeting skills through our direct education classes. And then 25% of Kansans live in areas with no healthy food access. So SNAP-Ed works to increase access to healthy foods through interventions designed to improve food environments, access, visibility, their appeal of those healthy choices. And then SNAP-Ed encourages folks to eat locally produced foods, which helps drive the local economy. And the U.S. Department of Ag estimates that every dollar invested in SNAP generates $1.50 to $1.80 in economic activity. So that's helping local communities where maybe the purchase was made, those farmers markets, and the farmers who produce those foods. Next slide. So I wanted to provide one example of supporting and enhancing local food systems and meeting a need of a community. That SNAP-Ed was fortunate enough to be awarded the Kansas Local Food Systems Food Fellow that worked on a project in Northwest Kansas. And that project, the Second Chance Breakfast was implemented at the Thunder Ridge High School, and that's in Kensington. And this high school had 50% of the students attending qualify for the free and reduced lunch program. And that is where our work is done in SNAP-Ed. We work in those schools that have at least 50% of the students qualifying for free and reduced lunch. And this project really centered around locally sourced foods, which came from some local beef producers, local grocery stores, and community donations, and allowed the school to serve more students, which ensured that they were getting the proper nutrition to learn during the school day, and then, carry them through to their after school activities such as sports and those types of things. And this project really improved the nutrition security of the students in this school, which we know can have an array of potential public health benefits, as well as contribute to to healthier teens and enhancing their success in school. And this was a huge need for this community. And so, you know, we thank the Kansas Local Food Systems for allowing us to have this food fellow so that we could do this work through our SNAP-Ed grant. So, next slide. So in 2022, I think it was 9.6% of Kansas households were unable to provide adequate food for one or more of their household members due to lack of resources. So this slide really shows the SNAP participation rate in Kansas and nationally, but SNAP benefits are so underutilized in Kansas, and with only 71% of those eligible receiving SNAP benefits, which means 29% of Kansans leave available resources on the table or unused. So Rebecca, if you want to pull up the poll, we do have a question because SNAP-Ed would like to know what opportunities there are in your community to enhance local food security and how we can benefit, you know, work with you to collaborate to address these barriers and prevent access to nutritious food. So if you want to put an answer into the poll, or even if you want to put it in the chat, or if you're not comfortable with either of those, I think Rebecca put my contact information in the chat, lkross@ksu.edu. You can just email me. But we want, SNAP-Ed is here to be in community and help you with these food access issues that you might have. So I'll let you go to the poll and take a minute or two for that. And thank you.
Thanks, Lisa. This is the first time I've ever done a long format poll question.
I didn't know
so
how that would work, so we'll see if it works.
yeah.
And then we would love to have the responses so that our SNAP-Ed team can get to work to helping you with these issues.
So I'll leave this poll open for a couple minutes here. So while you're working on that, I think this would be also a good time to, if you have questions for Lisa about SNAP-Ed or for Aaron about Double Up Food Bucks, feel free to unmute and ask your question or drop that into the chat, especially those of you that have already finished answering the poll question.
And
It's hard to
then
think about multiple
my
things.
next slide is just a ending slide, just with my email address there if you need it.
Yep.
Thank you.
So I'll throw out a question. You know, I'm going to put both of you on the spot at the same time. So obviously the Double Up Food Bucks relies on SNAP for the matching. You know, that's where the matching funds go up against, is the SNAP. So what, if any, work do you already do together between SNAP-Ed and Double Up Food Bucks, if any? Or how does that look in different communities?
Well, we rely on Aaron heavily because in the communities that we're working with that say have a farmer's market, but they're not receiving, well, maybe the first step for us is that we need to get that farmer's market and even potentially a grocery store, but farmer's market specifically to accept SNAP benefits. And then once they've done that, then the Double Up Food Bucks comes next. So Aaron, do you want to speak to that? Because I know you've been in touch with some of our SNAP-Ed educators and agents.
Yeah, we work very closely together, Rebecca. That is a great question. when we are looking at a community to bring them on board with Double Up Food Bucks, there's a lot of capacity building that goes in place. First of all, it's making that market, that farm stand, whatever, aware that they can offer SNAP, what SNAP is, how SNAP offering SNAP as a payment option can benefit their business. Getting approved to accept SNAP is not like a snap of the finger. You have to go through
No.
government processes to get that done. And so once, SNAP-Ed, we've kind of worked to identify that location, provided a lot of, SNAP-Ed often provides them a lot of information and support on our program. I'm brought in and I will help them go through that application process to get SNAP as a payment option, and to put every recording and data tracking in place so they're ready to launch Double Up Food Bucks down the line. The other thing that I work very closely with SNAP-Ed with, and we would not be a successful program without their partnership. It's so wonderful to have. We do outreach every year in every community that offers Double Up. So we are working with community partners and social service agencies, along with customers and businesses, to make awareness on the program. As you heard Lisa say, the enrollment time on SNAP on average is about 17 months. So, it's a population we're continuing having to educate about the opportunities, or when we're onboarding new locations. So those SNAP-Ed agents oftentimes in those communities, and other K-State Extension agents, are always super helpful in doing a lot of that outreach work, going to those community partners, educating them about the program, which then provides that opportunity to make more SNAP customers aware. We do direct mailing to those households, but we do know from our research and our evaluation that someone that they trust, someone on SNAP, if someone tells them about Double Up Food Bucks and it's someone that they trust, they are more likely to go use the program and to give it a try. They may not have shopped at a farmer's market before. I think it takes probably a lot of courage, if you've not shopped at a farmer's market with an EBT card, to go do that. And so a trusted person, suggesting it and bringing them along on that process, like a SNAP-Ed agent would do, or a community partner, is really huge. So that's just a glimmer. There's a lot of work that we do together, Lisa. What am I missing? I'm sure it's a lot.
No, I actually forgot about the outreach piece, but yeah, that's crucial too. No, Erin's been critical to the work that we do. And making sure that people know that those resources are out there, like going to the farmer's market, that they do accept SNAP, and Double Up Food Bucks when because that's huge for our participants. So yeah. Chucky, thank you for putting your question in the chat about anybody on this call who can assist us in what ways can those on this call assist in getting more people to apply for SNAP benefits. Because as you saw, only 71% that are eligible are applying for that. And this is one reason that SNAP educators, anyone involved in SNAP education, cannot sign people up or help them sign up for SNAP benefits, is because our funding is directly tied to SNAP recipients. Those receiving SNAP, the more people that are receiving SNAP, the higher our budget is. And so it's kind of a conflict of interest, per se, if our SNAP education people are helping people fill out their application. Although we really, really want to, it is not in our guidance that we can do that. So if you have ideas on how to get more people to apply for SNAP benefits, let us know, because we know the people at DCF to give that information to.
Okay, there's a question from Joanna, Lisa, in the chat.
What's the difference between what you do, Lisa, and what county level extension FNEP?
I think she means FNEP, I'm guessing.
Oh, FNEP. Okay, folks doing their counties. These are, they're similar programs. SNAP-Ed is USDA. and so is FNEP, but they are from different arms of USDA. SNAP-Ed is the food and nutrition service side, and that is nutrition education, but we do a little bit more in community work and doing policy, system, and environmental changes. So like I said, we're trying to make those communities as healthy as possible. We do both nutrition programs do have a series of classes, but the FNEP program is more designed for our even lower resource audiences than our SNAP-Ed. Our SNAP-Ed audiences to be eligible for SNAP, that's at 130% of poverty level. But our program in SNAP-Ed can serve anyone that's at 185% or poverty or below. But our FNEP program, we tend to have lower resource audiences, and 66% of our FNEP population here in Kansas that we serve are at 100% of poverty or lower. And so it's a peer model. For education versus SNAP-Ed is more a professional model. The intensity of the FNEP program is longer. We do a series of 12 where in SNAP-Ed, we only do a series of 6. And it's more relationship built and community organizations and things like that. And we do a little PSE, but not as much as SNAP-Ed. So there are some differences, and the funding is different because it is funded through NIFA through a non-capacity grant. So, I mean a capacity grant, sorry. Is that
All
answer
right.
the question? That was a long answer.
I think it was good. So
Okay, thank you.
So we are going to keep on moving. I'm going to share the poll results really quick. Actually, it doesn't show anything. Interesting. Okay.
Rebecca,
So-
it said that the results of that poll would be sent to the host. I think is
Okay.
what I was curious about that too. So
Yeah.
mine said test. I didn't get mine in there, but
Now we know.
I know.
Okay. So thanks, Lisa and Aaron, for joining us. Again, if you have more questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. We're going to jump through a few other updates quickly here. So just some upcoming things that we have in the next several months. We will be working with the Kansas Department of Agriculture to hold local food producer workshops across the state next year, kind of early part of the year. We hope to have registration for those workshops open in mid-December. And this year we are up to 6 locations. So you can see those in the corner of the screen there. So we tried to kind of spread it out, and are hoping to get into kind of a rotation that moves to different parts of the state every year. So these workshops are really focused on those selling at farmers markets, direct to consumer, or farm stands. Although each workshop has a little bit of its own flavor, have some different topics based on the needs of that particular location. And we do always include a lot of the regulatory talks from KDA, scale certification opportunities, training for SNAP and Double Up Food Bucks, the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program, marketing, and things like that. So be on the lookout for more information about these workshops coming soon, but do take those dates down and share that with folks in your areas. We do have some save the date graphics and things like that for each location as well. Also coming up, we have been working with our K-State Community Vitality team to offer a grant writing workshop opportunity specifically targeted at local food system partners. And so this workshop will be January 21st and 23rd. It is virtual, and it's about 3 hours each day. And the cost for that is $60. So that is, again, online through our K-State Community Vitality. And we will have myself and Amanda and some other local food system folks on those trainings as well to kind of help provide a little bit of flavor and guidance on some of the local food related grant opportunities that are out there. So this would be a great opportunity, you know, if you had folks that were maybe interested in the business builder grant in your community, but were kind of overwhelmed by the grant process, or things like that. It is definitely a basic grant writing workshop, so you're not going to come out of it ready to write a giant USDA grant, but it's a good place to start if you've either struggled with grant writing or have folks that are interested that maybe haven't gotten their skills up to par yet. From the Heartland Regional Food Business Center, as I mentioned earlier, they're all off with a partner meeting this week. And so they shared some updates for you. The Business Builder Grant, their first round of applications closed a couple weeks ago. They're really excited. They had over 500 or about 500 applications from the whole region, and about 25% of those came from Kansas. So we had the most Business Builder applications of any state in the region, so go Kansas. And the timeline for that, applications will be reviewed and announced in early 2025, and the next round of applications will also open early in 2025. So you can check out their website for more information on that. And we also have some new staff that have been hired as part of the Heartland Regional Food Business Center. The Kansas Rural Center has added Leslie Monty as one of their farm business navigators, and K-State Research and Extension has added Quinlan Carter as one of the food business resource navigators. So great to have more people able to provide technical assistance to our farms and food businesses in the region. So I do want to take a minute here and give you the chance to provide some feedback on our town hall structure. And so I have 3 questions in this poll. You know, so again, today we only had 2 lightning presenters, and, you know, we still got through, you know, we're running out of time here. So the first question is asking about if you have preferences on the lightning presentations. The second question is asking if you have preferences on the topics for the lightning presentations. I know, like today, we were pretty focused on, you know, SNAP and food security type topics. Sometimes we've been more theme oriented, and sometimes we have kind of mixed it up and had a diverse mix of topics each time. And then the last question is just preferences for the agenda. If you like having more presentations, if you'd rather have more time for discussion. This might be a little bit of a loaded question because our current structure is supposed to allow 50-50 for presentations and discussion, but we often run out of time for discussion. So let you think about that. So while you are working on the poll questions, I will move to this slide about the 2025 town halls. So in 2025, our usual months all have a 5th Wednesday. So we made the decision to push the town hall to the 5th Wednesday of the month, so that you can see the dates on the screen. And we will have a new Zoom link and a new registration required for the 2025 town halls. So the link and the registration that you did for any of the town halls in 2024 will no longer work for the 2025 town halls. And so you can either scan the QR code on the screen and get registered for next year, or Christina has dropped the link into the chat to register for that. I don't have our website updated with the new link yet, but I will probably by the end of the week have that changed up as well. Okay, so I'm going to end that poll. Thanks to everyone who participated in that. Just a reminder, if you're not getting some of our updates, our email newsletter is the best way to do that. And with that, I'm going to open it up for any discussion or announcements or updates. I know we have a lot of those, so I'm going to stop my screen sharing here. And if you have an announcement or update, feel free to turn your camera on and unmute and share out to the group. Jackie, do you want to start?
Yes, for sure. Thanks. The Kansas Rural Center is having their annual conference in just a little over 2 weeks on November 16th in Wichita at the Drury Inn. And our keynote speaker is Austin Frerick, who wrote Barron's. I don't know if you can see this book about the money, power, and corruption in the American food industry. Really excellent writing on 7 sectors of our food. Yeah, it's really excellent. So then we'll have 3 tracks, each with a theme of conservation, diversification, and innovation. And then we're going to conclude with a panel of young farmers on their vision for the future. And I put the link in the chat up there a little ways, so you can just go on kansasruralcenter.org and still time to register. And we've been able to really lessen the registration fee to $45, and so that we can, reach as many folks as possible. Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie. Anyone else?
Jackie, can you throw that back in the chat another time, just
Sure.
in case somebody missed it or got on late?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, Erica?
Yeah, hi everybody. So I just wanted to share that the Rural Grocery Initiative has an event coming up. It'll be December 4th in Wichita, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And this is an event that's all about the cooperative business model, which we see as an important option to consider for communities in both urban communities, rural communities, grocery stores, producers, childcare, all kinds of businesses that could benefit from the model where people are pooling their resources to achieve a common goal. So the event is going to be providing just kind of a 101 on what is the cooperative business model. And then we're also bringing in a national expert to provide a training to help people assess whether or not this is a viable option for them. We'll have a panel discussion and also just a broader discussion with attendees about how this model could be employed in Kansas. So I will go ahead and put the information for that event in the chat, and we would love to invite you all to attend. Thanks.
Thanks, Erica. Anyone else? And say, I don't see Aaron Davis or anyone from KSDE on today. Again, I know a lot of other things going on. So I'll drop it in the chat. I did want to highlight the Farm to School Institute that for 2025, the Institute application has just opened, and I dropped the link to their website in the chat. The Farm to School Institute, Aaron talked about a little bit at our July town hall. And so this is an opportunity for a school or a school district to really up their game in Farm to School. They put together a team and attend a 3-day retreat that really gives them a deep dive into increasing their Farm to School program activities. They're assigned a coach. I know some of you on the call are coaches for this year's institute. And so I did want to highlight that if you are either affiliated with a school or school district, or you have a local school or school district that you think might be interested, feel free to take a look at that, share it with them. I know that myself and Ponce Leon Flores are both on the planning team for Kansas. So both of us can answer questions about the 2025 Institute, and you can also reach out to Aaron Davis and things like that as well. And then kind of a related topic. So is that the National Farm to School grant application just came out. It was either yesterday or 2 days ago, just this week. And so again, I'll drop that into the chat as well, both the link to the main grant, as well as I think one of the neat things about the Farm to School grant is they have these turnkey grants as well that are related to so school gardening or procurement or planning or things like that. And so the turnkey grants are a little simpler for a federal USDA grant. And they can actually, it's a little bit of a simplified application process. So it might be a great way to kind of dip your toe into some federal grants, particularly related to farm to school. Let's see. Anyone else have anything they want
Rebecca,
to?
there was a question in the chat regarding the opportunities you just discussed. Are they just for K-12 or are there any other opportunities for continuing education?
So
Or state
the
level?
Farm to School Institute, that's a great question. This year, the 2024 group was all early childhood education. 2025 is going to be, I believe, just K through 12 is the focus. 2026, I don't know for sure if that's going to be both or just one or the other. That one's a little bit TBD. The federal Farm to School grant is pretty focused on K through 12. You would have to really, I haven't looked at the RFA in great detail, but it's usually pretty K through 12 focused, rather than including ECE. Any other announcements? Semra, I didn't know if you wanted to announce anything about the Gaining Ground webinar or other things like that.
Yes, it's today.
I know.
Rebecca thank you so much for sharing it on the listserv yesterday, but we do have a Gaining Ground webinar today with Global One Urban Farming that some graduate students are putting on. It's about community engagement on urban farms. And then there is a second one that's on November 20th. If you follow that link that I replied to in the email, you can see both of them. I think that's the main announcement I have right now. We will.
If you have the link, I would drop it in the chat because not everyone on this call will have gotten that email.
I'll go ahead and do that. The only other thing is that soon we will be relaunching the Growing Growers Apprenticeship Program for next year and seeking more host farms, potentially in areas outside of the KC metro area. So I'll definitely share that on the listserv once we're ready to start accepting applicants for both host farms and apprentices.
Sounds good. Thanks, Semra. Any other announcements? I think I hear thunder outside, which is amazing. It's been 2 days of blowing dust here in Wichita, so any little bit of rain is great. All right, so I am going to go ahead and share my screen again. So again, feel free to keep dropping stuff in the chat if you want to share anything with the whole group. And we are going to go ahead and we've been poll heavy today. So we have one more poll for you. This is just our closing poll. So kind of helping us understand what you liked or didn't like, or what you learned from the town hall today. And then since we're trying out the long answer feature of the poll, the fourth question about speakers or topics for 2025 town halls is in there as well. So you can enter that through the poll, or if you prefer, you can drop those ideas into the chat. Yeah, it's definitely raining. I'm excited. I may have to go dance in the rain over the lunch hour.
I hope we are next. It looks like we might get some here at 1. I'm so hopeful.
After 2 days of breathing what felt like solid dust, anything is appreciated.
Yeah, I think Manhattan has had 1/10 of an inch of rain this whole month of October. We're excited. So I'm jealous of you, Rebecca.
Well, I'm not going to hold my breath until we actually get more than 1/10 of an inch, because that's what we got last week, was 1/10.
I got home last night. I'm here in Wichita, and I had literally a pile of tumbleweeds at my front door from the wind blowing that were about 4 feet high, just at our front door, nowhere else. I couldn't use my front door this morning. They kept building up throughout the night as the wind blew. It's kind of a Kansas only problem. You know, up north, they can't get out of their houses because of snow. We can't get out because of tumbleweeds.
All right. Well, thanks everyone again for coming today. Again, feel free to keep adding stuff into the chat or finish up the poll. I'll leave that open a little bit longer. And we will, if we don't see you in person at something over the next few months, lots of different workshops and conferences, we'll look forward to seeing everyone in our January town hall.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.